All right, this is part two. The video died while I was doing the Tokonole on the last one, so I'm back and we're going to keep working on this edge. Honestly, this should only take about 5 minutes. So I was really nervous when I originally started about doing any form of edge work and that kind of stuff because I didn't know how to do it. And I mean, honestly, I got up on here and I started watching YouTube videos and really starting to learn more about what it meant to, really produce some clean work. And, edging is one of the easiest ways when you're doing leatherworking to really get into, understanding how to make a finished product. And it's pretty cool because that was all it took right there. You can see it. That was maybe 30 seconds of me talking while rubbing side to side using canvas, and that edge is basically fully sealed. And yeah, it's looking really good now. So the cool thing is we just flip that over, apply a little bit more to the next part of the edge, and we keep going. And really, this doesn't take long to do at all. And this isn't pressure. This is only friction. Is that I'm not putting a huge amount of weight into this. This is, yep, that's all it took. It's back and forth really fast. That's all. And that gives that nice clean edge so that when you rub your fingers up against it, it feels smooth, very smooth. Down here, it's rough. You can feel the difference in the texture. And over here, it's, feels like I'm pushing almost like on a piece of plastic or glass. It's very smooth to the touch. And what burnishing does is that it creates heat, and the heat actually closes those fibers together instead of allowing them to be open. And this Tokonole was developed in Japan, and it was designed for this exact purpose, is that it becomes a bonding agent, and it soaks in, and then once it's heated up a little bit, it becomes smooth, and it pulls the edges of the leather together, and you end up with something that's, beautiful on the edge, but it's also fairly waterproof, and it's going to stay that way for a while. It's not one of those things. Leather is one of those things that people are like, well, this is a lifetime piece of leather. It can be reconditioned. It can have all of those things and make it last that long. But the reality is that nothing is truly a one-time product. And, especially with, something like this could last quite a while. This could last 15, 20 years, no problem. Maybe only needing, reconditioned once, twice. But once you move into, some of those, other products, like some of the things that I'm designing are going to be, long-term hiking packs, portage packs. That's the name, Portage Leathers. And those portage packs, they are going to be rough, really rough, and they're going to be oil tan. And the idea with those is they're meant to be worked through. They're meant to be utilized and put through, rigorous use and in harsh conditions. And so they're meant to get dirty. They're meant to get wet. They're meant to, receive wear and tear. This not so much. This is probably going to sit on a desk like that. There's not a whole lot of wear and tear that's going to happen. You might spill a drink on it. You might have, it might get wet here and there. But it's not going to be one of those things that's going to be severely tested, by the elements, by the weather, those types of things. Here, you get just enough to really seal it in, get it well maintained. And because veg tan comes pretty much completely just raw, there's not a whole lot of places where this has already been worked into something already as far as veg tan leather goes. So it's coming into a full product. You're just going from a raw product to a completely finished product, all in the same process. Now, when you start with oil tan, that goes a little bit deeper. That goes a little bit more towards, hey, I'm starting with a semi-finished product and I'm just doing some different things to finish this product into an actual usable material. And that's why, I like veg tan and oil tan. Honestly, I enjoy oil tan more than I do veg tan in some regards, simply for the things you can make with it. It's a little bit more versatile than veg tan. Veg tan is going to be your nicer products, the things that would sit on a desk. This is one of those that if you're an avid pipe smoker, you have 20 or 30 pipes. If you have two, to have the space to put something down, to put one of those pipes down, and to really let it sit and rest, because pipes get hot. They really do. Traditional tobacco pipes get very, very warm. They get, you have to let them rest. You have to let them really get to the place where they're actually able to fully rest before you start another pipe up. And the reason being is that actually locks the flavor of that pipe. And it actually seasons the pipe so that the pipe doesn't burn out. If you don't smoke a pipe all the way down to the bottom, it will burn a hole through the bottom. And so that's what this lets it do, is it lets that pipe fully cool, and that's what ages that or seasons that by giving it a hardening process. So every time you smoke, you harden it a little bit more. Every time you smoke, you harden it a little bit more. And that's exactly what this is used for. But that actually looks pretty good right there. As you can see, we've got a pretty solid edge around the whole thing, and bent it over. And as you can tell, the inside has a little bit less. What I did is I actually came back over this using a little bit of sandpaper or file sharpener, fingernail sharpener, excuse me. And I just went over the inside of it just to give it a little bit rougher edge, so it's going to hold that pipe a little bit more sturdily. And yeah, as you can tell, that looks pretty good. The overall end is great. The bend on it is, it can do a little bit more. But what's going to happen is that once we get that pipe in there and once we stretch it out a little bit, it's going to retain a shape that's probably more along those lines. But we have to get that hole in there. So let me put the Tokonole up, and we're going to switch over to handy dandy little hand punch. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that this can go through multiple layers of leather. Now, the issue comes when you try to do multiple layers on a thicker piece. It's not going to allow you to do both of these at the same time in a clean fashion. You can do both, but the bottom hole is going to be jagged, it's going to be off to the side. So what you do is you punch the first hole. And remember, we're using that concho, so we want to go in a little bit further, get it about right there, and just far enough from that edge that the concho, you'll be able to see the full concho. All right. Not too shabby. Turn it a little bit. Okay. See that hole? Now, the easiest thing to do, flip it over. So it gives you the exact identical hole alignment, and then you go through, just enough. Just enough to make a little indent. You know where that's going to be on the other side. And that gives you just an indent right there. And that's almost the same size, so you go directly in the middle of there. And there it went. Okay. And the reason you're doing that, see, that didn't go all the way through. Now, the reason it didn't go all the way through is this is an old, beat-up machine, so you have to realign it, readjust it every time. And that's just, I haven't got around to getting another one yet, so that's just the way that works. Make sure that's perfectly in there, go like there, and you hear a little click, spin it, and there it is. And now we have two perfectly aligned holes. Probably see it better that way. And yep. So now I can take this poncho, put it in. Yep, that's going to be tight. And that fits, that looks nice. It's a little bit off the end, kind of the way I wanted to do it. And we put that through. And just get that lined up. Now this is a Chicago screw on the back of this. So it's going to want to spin it a little bit. That's okay. So we just overcorrect it slightly the other way. And I don't have a tool to do this right now, so I'm just using the end of that, and we're just tightening it ever so slightly, making sure that we keep the end of this far enough out so we don't do any damage to the leather. Now we've got it nice and tight. Look at that. And that is a beautiful deep olive army green pipe holder. Move my tools here, set it down so y'all can see it. And so it sits, it opens up, it's strong, it's not gonna just pop out on me. And the inside is just rough enough that it's gonna hold my Peterson in the way that I want it to. And it's got just enough flex on there, so it's deeper. I can do this. I've also got a church warden, and the church warden also is going to fit in there pretty well. Now, what I've noticed with the church warden is that because it is smaller, and depending on the pipe, it's not going to sit in there the same exact way. And because it's glossier, and this church warden has a lot of just not enough ridges, not the same as the Peterson, and so this slides more than this inside of here. Now, if I look at an older one that I've done, this one, I did very minimal, changes to the inside, and so if I put this in there, it holds it very well. It's also looser. It's a slightly different type of veg tan, and so this one is actually perfect for the church warden. And that's the difference, is you're making this, it's going to be a little bit stronger, a little bit more, I don't know if stronger is the right word. It's a little stiffer than the other one. They're both pretty darn strong overall. I mean, I can yank on that, I can pull it, I can twist it, it's not going to do anything to it. And that is a near perfect specimen. I did one other one that was the same. That was the tag for this. This was the smaller version. As you can tell, it's about 1/4 of an inch shorter, and it doesn't quite have the same effect that buffalo nickel does. But overall, it's a good little piece, and it's going to be around for probably 20 years at least. All right, friends, you have a great day.